driving this thing, driving this bus.
Thank you very much, Pete. Thank you all for being here. The short of it is we cannot clean up Delaware's waterways without you. It's been an honor and a privilege to chair the task force the past 10 months, I think we're at now, with so many meetings up and down the state, such a complicated, overlapping issue to finally try to address for generations to come the quality of Delaware's waterways. Myself and the co-chair, Representative Mike Mulrooney, it's wonderful to be in the co-chair spot, but the reality is this issue touches so many different areas of Delaware. There are so many experts from the public and private sectors who've been at the table that we've just been sort of facilitating the meetings. There is so much knowledge, there is so much willingness, there is so much passion from across many different communities in Delaware to make sure that we no longer have to say that more than 90% of our waterways are impaired, but rather that we have the cleanest water across the board in the entire country, and that we have not only the technology to do it, but the political will and the community support. And over the past 10 months in developing this legislation, which we will have prepared to introduce soon, the question being, do we do it this year or do it next year? And that's where you all come in. There's no doubt that this is a model piece of legislation that acknowledges how fundamentally important clean water is to the entirety of Delaware, from our economy to our environment to our public health, but also does it in a way that everyone should be proud of. Fully transparent, fully accountable to the public, fully supportive of all the different constituencies who have got to be a part of achieving clean water in Delaware. Having learned over the past 10 months how difficult this issue is, how well-intentioned everyone has been for the past many decades, but seeing over and over now how a combination of increasing nutrient pollution in our waterways and decreasing federal funding has left Delaware as a coastal state and as an agriculture state in such a precarious position, but that we can come together, a diverse community of stakeholders, through this task force to develop a model piece of legislation that will help us solve this problem. It's been a blessing to be a part of. But for all the hours that we spent, and at my staff, and I'll give a quick shout out to Michelle Zebb and to Caitlin Gordon who are here because they've helped us drive this so much. As wonderful as that all is, it doesn't mean anything if we can't get it introduced and we can't get it passed. And the reality is, and you'll hear speakers about this either today or in the weeks to come, everyone's going to say they support clean water. But the reality is, are we prepared to make the tough decisions of how to clean up our waterways? It's not going to happen magically. It's not going to happen from Washington, D.C., unfortunately, under the current trajectory. But we as Delaware can come together to do it. We have a very diverse group of stakeholders who agree on the solution that we're putting forward. We have every legislator saying we agree for clean water. The challenge is getting those legislators whose districts include so many of the ag lands and other aqua-based economies to support this legislation. It's getting Delawareans to realize that clean water is one of the most fundamental things in our society. It's getting people to realize that some of the communities who are hardest hit with water quality issues are those communities least able to pay to clean it up. And that the environmental injustice inherent in that is unacceptable given that we have the technology to fix it.
Right.
And perhaps most importantly, it's acknowledging that if we don't clean up now, it'll be far more expensive to clean up later. That our economy is driven on clean water and a clean environment, and you do not have to sacrifice economic growth in order to achieve environmental quality. And that when you have a group of people who've come together the past 10 months, the way this task force has come together, publicly, allowing for public comment, answering questions, pointing out the difficult policy choices, pointing out the inequalities, and then put forth a solution that we can achieve progress. The question is just when. I would love to do it in the next 4 weeks here in the legislature. The sooner we do this, the sooner we put more Delawareans to work with water infrastructure, the sooner we stabilize our environment-based economy, the sooner we make sure that public health is secure, the sooner we address some of the inequalities that Ellendale and other communities have seen for far too long. If we cannot do it politically in the next 4 weeks, we can at least take heart knowing that come 2017, there is a model piece of legislation ready to go that the legislature hopefully will pass then. I hope we do it sooner. If it's not this year, it can be next year. But it can only happen with the support of fired up community members like yourselves, who take your time to come here because you know that environmental quality is so fundamental to economic prosperity. Because you know that more people in the community support those leaders who step up and lead and address the issues that we know we face. We need your support. We need your activism. We need your state representative and state senator to know your name and email address and phone number by heart. We need you to meet with him or her for coffee or lunch or whatever it is, to say with passion, I want you to clean up Delaware's water. We can do this. It makes sense economically. It makes sense environmentally. It makes sense with public health. There is nothing about this that does not make sense. And when you do it with transparency and accountability, you cannot ask for more in a piece of legislation. Thankfully, with the help of a lot of very well-informed and impassioned people, that's what we have now. We're on the precipice of being able to introduce that piece of legislation either this year or next year. Please keep up the fight. Please continue to come to rallies. Please stay active. Please keep pushing leaders to lead. Thank you so much for the efforts you've undertaken so far and for being here today, not only right here in front of me, but for my colleagues right across the street as a reminder of how important this issue is, how much we have to act on it, and how little time we can wait before taking this huge transformational step in Delaware. Thank you all so much.